and it's not Wednesday, then
It must be Tuesday.
and that it is. We in the building. We got a show for you all tonight, man. We're gonna get right to it. We ain't got no time to be playing around with no commercials and all of that. Ha ha ha. Hoop you know what it is. That's Browski over there. Yada Bear, aka High Ceilings, is in the building. I am left-handed at RM. That's on Twitter, which is this right now. Listen, we was just having a hot conversation. Well, I was doing the talking, and Browski was just like, nah, that listen to shit about particular people saying particular things. So we get it that you get a mic in front of you and you get the clicks and the likes. Oh, Down in Sports is in the building. It's Tuesday night. You already knew that. You get clicks and likes for the things that you say, outrageous, outlandish, whatever. Because a lot of the people that listen to you don't really understand and jibe what you're talking about anyway. They just want to hear the nonsense and the foolishness and then try to put it together when they get in front of their friends. So we were talking. So athletes, no matter who you call it, I'm not gonna say names. You can fill in the blanks. There's plenty of them out there that have a argument that people who never played the game aren't qualified to talk about the game. Um, I feel like if you can articulate what you see in front of you and you can articulate it to people and give them the kind of like visual in their mind, then you can talk about the game. Um, my question is, and I presented it to Yada Bear. That's Yada Bear over there. You're in the building. Um, why do athletes feel that they can come to the journalistic arena and feel like they can come over here and do what we do, and they don't have any prior experience, or they never really interacted with the press like that anyway. So I just kicked it to Yala Bear and thought I wanted to get her thoughts on that, because I'm coming tonight. I'm on my get off my lawn stuff tonight, straight like that. I'm sorry. I'm just letting you know, and my get down on it tonight is not safe for work. I'm just gonna say that right there. Browski was good. Yada Bear's in the building.
Not much, man. I'm just cruising here, just seeing what direction you taking us today. I see you.
Man,
But
listen, I go ahead.
what you were saying, I think is um lack of respect for journalism. Um, we in this new day and age where we have went away from the traditional style of journalism. Nobody reads the newspaper no more. There's nobody's buying a paper, opening up and getting your information from what happened last night.
Right.
In the
Hmm.
newspaper.
Right.
Information now comes within seconds.
Hmm.
Something can happen right now and on the internet at the same time that it's happening. So we have a live view on the world. And I feel like these athletes, who have an issue with certain, journalists that's, critiquing them or talking about the sport, they feel as though, well, we have hands-on experience, so we know exactly, um, they know exactly what to talk about. But to me, I feel like um, we all have eyes. We all see things and break it down and analyze it in different ways. Me and you can
True.
look at this same photograph and I may see something differently than what you see, you
True
know?
that.
Um, I think sports is one supposed to be strictly analytical about the numbers. So they all say numbers don't lie. So if I can argue that if this person averaged more than this person, then person A is a better ball player than person B because hey,
Mm.
they average more points. That's what the numbers are telling us. But I just feel like, now everybody has a camera, a microphone, an opinion. Um, Sports has become less analytical and more opinionated, and
Mm.
everybody has an opinion, and everybody wants to share their opinion because somebody out there will be listening to their opinion. So that's what it is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Absolutely. Everybody has an opinion, whether you even interested in the game or not. Everybody has an opinion, and evidenced by the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
People that don't have no connection to football, all of a sudden, they're gonna pick who's gonna win the game. And I mean, that's fine. That's cool. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
But don't act like you know what you're talking about. That's my thing.
Hmm.
That I mean, you could do what you want to do and say what you want to say and feel how you want to feel, but please, because, and I'm gonna tell you why. We give you a level of expectation when you talk sports. There's a level of expectation, right? These new cats that talk about today's current atmosphere going on in sports. Period. You can have a good conversation with them. They won't really get analytical. They'll just talk more about who's the guy right now, right?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
you got to keep the same three or four or five names.
Yeah.
But when you start going back with them, that's when the waters get a little deep. And some cats can have those conversations. So then the level turns up a little bit, not in a bad way. Just now we can talk deep. We can go a little deeper,
Hmm.
right? So now you're sitting there and you having conversations. You're going back and forth with somebody, and next thing you know, 30 minutes to pass, you already had a dope conversation.
Hmm.
If you're having a conversation with somebody who can't get deep with you like that, now the conversation becomes one sided or it becomes boring,
Hmm.
and then it becomes a total turnoff. So that's my thing. And then when I related to the athletes, they could talk all day about how it felt to be in the tunnel before the Super Bowl, or how it felt in the situation when watching your quarterback, get flushed out the pocket and having to run for his life and things of that nature. You can think about how the coaches are feeling on the sideline. All of that. You can speak to all, and that's what we want to hear as sports fans.
Hmm.
I'm not necessarily interested in hearing a quarterback Super Bowl winning or Super Bowl playing quarterback talk about what's going on with these cats out here on the block. I'm
Hmm.
not interested in that, right? So make yourself useful is all I'm saying. Stay in your lane is all I'm saying. The thousands of stories that these athletes can tell about their experiences. Why don't you ever hear that when you talk on these podcasts? There's always some other stuff. And then you get made to look stupid, right, Channing Crowder? I ain't forget. Like how could you get up there and on your own platform, the pivot? Shout out to Ryan Clark and Fred Taylor, right? How could you? Come on, yo. And I feel like Terrence Crawford was so. What's the word I'm looking for, Browski? Clear cut,
Yeah.
pinpoint,
Hmm.
laser focus. And he was like, "That's you."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though they just still try to laugh it off. Like, so again, when you talk to athletes, when you have athletes having conversations amongst themselves, those are the ones that you want to be a fly on the wall for. Because now you can see who's who. And I just wanted to speak to that for a minute, man. Browski, we in the building. We 10 minutes in. Let's start with the Super Bowl. You know, it was what it was. Salute to the Seattle Seahawks. Salute Cousin T. Salute my man DJ Diz. Real live Seahawks fans. What's your thoughts about the game?
Well,
And please talk about halftime.
I mean, it was what I said would be on Saturday. I
Right.
said that Seattle should dog walk the Patriots. Um, the Patriots looked like they had the easiest schedule in the league, and they had the easiest schedule in the league. One of the easiest schedules out there. They had an easy road to the Super Bowl. You know, you play a Justin Herbert that's still unsure of himself, and the Chargers' new offense, and then you play a CJ Stroud that the defense carried in the whole season. And then you play the Denver Broncos team with a quarterback that couldn't complete a pass, couldn't
Mm.
move a ball, and you only scored 10 points on on that team that already came into that game defeated because they lost a starting quarterback. And then you had the Super Bowl when you came across a team that was able to muster up a little bit of offense because when you stated on Saturday when you asked me the first points of the game would be a touchdown or a field goal. And you said field goal. And for the first 3 quarters of the game, we had nothing but field goals. Um, some people might want to say, "Oh, it was a defensive class." No, because the Patriots' defense um, wasn't getting super crazy pressure on Sam Darnold. You've seen some of Sam Darnold's inefficiency that we've seen over the years and that we've seen during the season. For the first touchdown to come in the fourth quarter is super wild, and the Super Bowl is crazy to me, especially from the last couple Super Bowls that we had watched that had high power offense, more excitement. But to me, it was two teams that we won't see back in the Super Bowl for a while.
Mm.
That's how I feel. I feel like the Patriots was above the curve, and they'll say, "Oh, well, we're ahead of schedule." But that schedule didn't involve Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. So the schedule was real light, you know, and you had the perfect opportunity to at least show up and put up a better outing that you did. It was like Drake May had all the turnovers. It's like he was unprepared. He was shook. And we say when the lights are the brightest, that's when we see who really is the man and who really not. And the lights were bright and it was shining right on Drake, and he was throwing picks, fumbling, getting holding on to the ball too long, getting sacked, making errant throws, undecisive. Then I look at their offense as a whole. They went away from the run. The offensive
Mm-hmm.
line
Mm-hmm.
couldn't withstand any type of rush that Seattle was giving them. It was like they just had clear holes to go straight shot to Drake May. It was like, is anybody blocking these guys at all? Um, so it was disappointing, for the Patriots, but for the Seahawks, they came in, they did what they had to do. The defense definitely carried the team. Um, it's crazy that Kenneth Walker, MVP. When you think about it, maybe the MVP should went to the kicker, going 5 for 5 for field goals, kept you in the game until you was able to figure out your offense. I mean, what Kenny Walker had, 127 yards rushing, something like that, 140 something yards rushing, but no touchdowns. I can't. And you gave a point to, I don't know, maybe Sam Darnold should have been the MVP. He the one who threw the touchdowns. He didn't make the mistakes that was made on the other side. He didn't have any turnovers. He did enough to manage the game and to put him in the position to finally score. You know, or maybe the MVP should have been a defensive guy. I just don't think Kenneth Walker should have been the MVP. I feel like they scrambled with that. They didn't know. They're like, oh well, look at Sam Darnold's numbers. He only have like 100 and some odd yards passing. I guess we can get it. Can get a Kenneth Walker? He be the second running back to win the MVP since
Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis and Denver won it. So I mean, maybe that's the headline they're going for because there wasn't many headlines you can pull from the Super Bowl because it was, eh, eh. Um, and to be honest, I was turning back and forth from it. It didn't really keep my attention. The commercials was whack. You know, I don't even care about the halftime show like that. Everybody else has been talking about it. They can talk about it as much as they want.
Okay.
But to me, the game was lackluster. We'll see what happens next year. Maybe we get two better teams in there that have some offensive power and some excitement. But I
Oh,
mean, how you feel about that game?
it's gonna be some clashes next year. Believe that. Super Bowl 61, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's wild. So
That's
late.
gonna be that
That's
is
late. Like
gonna be
it's been
some.
a week.
It's gonna be some lawsuits, some police reports,
Some divorces.
some TikToks, some IG, some World Star.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? There's gonna be plenty of World Star. I thought the game was, lackluster. I mean, for what people were anticipating and what we were looking forward to, it didn't live up to it. One team kind of showed up, another team didn't. I'm not going to say that Seattle blew the doors off of New England because if New England would have played a halfway decent game offensively, this game would have been, a lot closer.
yeah.
The field goals, I mean, Jason Myers, 5 field goals, you can't sneeze at that. You
Can't.
know what I mean? You can't sneeze at that. I will say that I did see and remember Kenneth Walker had a couple of nice runs. Sam Darnold did what he needed to do, but hey, what can I say? Brad Johnson got me a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I just think that as far as Sam Darnold was concerned, um, he got his just due. He could look at you and say, "What? I got a ring, you don't."
I mean,
And
he's the best of their draft class.
that's how the story was supposed to end anyway, right?
Yeah,
He
I
played on
mean,
buku teams, been all over the league, was an alleged bust, and comes back and wins the Super Bowl.
listen,
Regardless of what he threw and things of that nature, he went to Disney World.
listen.
So I
We
feel
we've
like,
been saying all year that um the Jets told us to our face that this guy was trash. You know, he went to Minnesota, gave Minnesota a fantastic year. They said no, we're gonna go with the kid. He goes to Seattle, he wins the Super Bowl.
mhm.
I mean, when you look at his draft class, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, none of them have a Super Bowl ring. But the guy that you said was trash, who won third overall to the Jets and said he was bad, won the Super Bowl. How how should they feel about that? It's like,
They should feel like the dude that didn't sign Wu Tang Clan, Tommy Boy Records.
there you go.
That's how you should feel. We don't really have to spend too much time on the game. Halftime, it was what it was. You know what I mean? Bad Bunny. I don't really see what the big conflict and deal was. Again, so people just make what they want to make, and that's my whole thing. I just kind of like sit back and observe, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You made a big to do about nothing.
yeah.
Like,
You know what? The halftime show. Let me just say one thing.
okay,
These like they want to point out and make highlight immigrants, right? Like
mm-hmm.
illegal immigration, ICE, all this thing. But you have a guy performing who's not an immigrant. He's Puerto Rican. Do people not know that Puerto Rico is USA territory? That you basically are considered a U.S. citizen? Just they don't, you know, have a congressional seat or House of Representative or and don't have any really like ties into the American government, but they are U.S. territory. So they want to highlight. this one guy performing, and oh, he's singing in Spanish. Everything's in Spanish. This is crazy. And I'm like, but you guys are hype over a U.S. citizen. He's a U.S. citizen. He's not an immigrant. Like I think people forgot that. I guess they so used to seeing him. They figured maybe he was from somewhere else. They forgot that he was Puerto Rican. Like bro, whatever. It was a performance, and hopefully we get somebody better next year.
Okay. Who do you propose to play in Super Bowl halftime next year in LA? Super Bowl 61. Who do you propose?
Um, if I want something high energy, someone who just had a fantastic U.S. tour, I'll say Chris Brown. Come on now, the modern day Michael Jackson out there on that stage performing his hits from him being a teenager to a grown adult. That would be amazing. Everybody loves Chris Brown music.
Can I get a vote?
Sure.
I'm not mad at the Chris Brown thing. I think it'll be a slam dunk for music in general. Um, can we get New Edition to play the Super Bowl?
No, we don't want to see that.
Oh, okay.
We don't want to see that. Come on now.
All right. Come on, Dad. Come on, son. Moving right along.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Yeah,
Okay.
son. Moving right along. We're gonna get into some basketball, man. NCAA men's and women top 10. I got a little top 10 list here for talk about. I'm gonna try to catch up with some basketball. As of late, I watched Arizona
Take
and
that
Kansas
L.
last night. You know, Kansas is one of those sneaky teams. Bill Self has his team, um, ready. And I say all of that without Darren Peterson, who's supposed to be the projected number one, who's already practicing load management before he even
Oh,
misses it.
already.
You
Listen,
know
he
what I'm
getting
saying?
ready for the league. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
so I feel like, and Kansas is doing work without him. You know what I mean? So again, salute. For the men's top 10, Browski, you can let me know where you at with it. I got at number 10. I got Michigan State. I like Michigan State. They doing what they need to do. 20-4 record. Can't be mad at that. Number 9, I got Kansas at 19-5. Of course, you got give me a G, give me an O, give me an N, give me a Z, give me an A, give me a G, give me an A. Gonzaga at number 8, 23-2. The Kabrowski shaking their head in agreement. She likes that one. Number 7, I got Nebraska at 21-2. Arizona drops down to they're 23-1. Then I got UConn, right? They're doing their thing at number 5. Duke at number 4, 21-2. Houston, number 3, 21-2. Iowa State, number 2, 21-2. And Michigan Wolverines, 22-1. This list is fluid as FCUK, right? So again, it's going to definitely change. Browski's laughing at me. Good
Because you
Browski.
always gotta slide Gonzaga in
Gonzaga,
there. But
23 and 2.
all right, but what
23
about
and
Illinois?
2.
What
Huh?
about Illinois? What about
What about
Illinois?
Illinois?
Illinois is balling too.
There's no,
Illinois.
there's no G in Illinois.
I can see Gonzaga right now at like 11, maybe.
Oh man, come
If you
on.
did not have Illinois
Hey,
in the top
you gotta put
10,
some
is
power.
wow. But
All
I
right.
understand Gonzaga is just squad. Um, yeah, Michigan being number one, yeah, that fits right now. And
Mhm.
and like you said about Kansas, Bill Self always have those type of sneaky teams. Number one, you never know what type of team he's going to have at the beginning of the season because you expect one thing and it be something completely different, but then somehow right before March, like right around this time, it's like right around this time, that's when Candace starts to turn it up a notch, and you're like, oh wait a minute, Bill has a squad,
Mhm.
and I think he kind of turned it up a little bit early, um, and and Kansas is like one of those sneaky college team year after year. It's like you be like, oh, this is a weak Kansas recruiting class, and then you turn around and they're ranked like the sixth best team in the
Mhm.
nation. You know, right now what are they 18-5, like, you know, the starting of the second week of February, getting ready. You know, conference tournament is right around the corner, and they're getting themselves in the position to come out on top. Like they could be a sneaky pick to win a conference. So I see that. UConn, Iowa State. Well, you have Houston. You have Houston on your list.
I got used to number 3.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Michigan State at 10. I
Mhm.
agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah. And,
Um,
and Duke. Yeah. Duke also. Yeah.
I got the women's side real quick. I got Duke at number 10. I got Michigan at number 9. Ohio State at 8. Louisville at 7. LSU at 6. Vanderbilt at 5.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina at 4.
Mm.
It's at 3. UCLA at 2. And UConn. Undefeated UConn at number 1. Yeah, Browski. I
Who
knew
you
I
had?
knew
Oh, wait a
when
minute.
I did
Who you
that.
had
I
at
knew
three?
Browski was gonna say something. Go ahead, Kimmy.
Who you had at three?
Texas.
I mean, you can flip flop it.
Okay.
That I don't see that as being egregious. You that could be flip flop here and there. You LSU at 6, yeah. Vandy at 5, absolutely. They've
Okay.
been balling. Um, I mean, UConn still undefeated. Um, Ozzie Flood and Sarah Strong dominating dominating the season. It's crazy. You would think that, oh, it might have been a slight drop off because Paige Beckers is now
hmm
in the league.
hmm
No, it's no drop off at all. It's like a revolving door, and these two ladies just picked up the slack and just took it to another level. Sarah Strong is dominating, and so is Ozzy Flood. They're like yin and yang. They work so well together, you know. Um, UCLA, Lauren Betts can't say
Well,
anything.
you say right.
Can't say anything wrong, about her. Um, where did you? Where would you put um, Iowa State?
Ooh, I would put Iowa State 12th, right on the outside, 12th.
Okay. See,
Because I feel
Iowa State is kind of like Kansas to me on the men's side. Sneaky good, real dangerous in the tournament. You know, Artie cooks. So she's going to be very dangerous in the NCAA tournament. I think they might end up being like maybe like a 7 seed, depending on how they do in their conference tournament. If they win their conference tournament, I could definitely see them at like 6, maybe 5. If they lose in the conference tournament, which I think the league wouldn't want them to, they'll be like 11, and that's going to be a crazy 11, you know, or a 10 seed that you don't want to see.
right.
So I think they are a sneaky, dangerous team. that I don't think they really want to see in like the first round of the tournament, especially if they fall to 11 and you got that matchup. That's you don't want that. Was
Yeah.
it like 6-11?
6'11". Yeah,
Yeah,
6'11".
yeah. You don't want that 6-11, and you look across and you see Iowa State as the 11th seed, and. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a respectable list. Um,
All right.
conference
I,
tournaments coming up
I,
soon.
I,
I
I
can't wait.
appreciate your approval. I appreciate your approval. Yeah, so I mean, again, it's fluctuating, and plus, we're getting into tournament time. So maybe 2 weeks from now, you may have a whole different list, or it might flip, or
Yeah,
whatever the case may be.
yeah,
But again, the best part of the season is coming up because right
exactly.
now, all these teams are really jockeying for their position within their own particular respective conferences. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You want to finish, as high as possible in your conference tournament. Some conferences have buys. You know
yeah.
what I mean? So again, you do want to finish as hot as possible with a better record as possible. Raskin, we gonna move it to the NBA. Man, listen, yeah, there's some fisticuffs and some things are going. Um, do we know what the numbers? Did they come back with the numbers for suspensions and stuff yet?
No, I didn't. I didn't see anything. I was waiting. I was, hopefully, I thought they would announce it today. Maybe they'll announce it tomorrow. Um, I think the biggest number probably going to hit probably going to be Isaiah
Isaiah Stewart.
Stewart
Hmm.
because he this is not his first rodeo.
Right.
Throwing the fisticuffs out there,
That,
and he came off
that's
the
yeah,
bench.
absolutely,
You know,
absolutely. Dusty. Yep.
and if him going after Miles Bridges, who also it is not his first rodeo, was wild to me. The whole thing, you know, it wasn't even a super hard foul to me, for to warrant that type of reaction. I just think it was just a heated game. Charlotte has been balling.
Hmm.
Who would have thought that we were saying Charlotte is balling, and we're not talking about the Panthers, we're talking about the Hornets. Um, Not to be mistaken, formerly known as the Bobcats, but the Hornets are definitely out there balling. And um,
Bobcats.
who would have thought that we were talking about a meaningful game in February in Charlotte against Detroit Pistons and the Charlotte Hornets is it's wild. It's a wild 2016 right now. I mean 2026 right now, and
Right.
I, the fighting to
Yeah.
me was a little unnecessary.
Hmm.
Um, I mean they're young guys. They was
Come on, Browski. Come on with it.
they
Come on with it.
they were just extremely
Slap it
emotional.
all real thick now. Come on.
I mean that's the problem with these young NBA players now. They're all emotional, you know. Um, but like the emotions got the best of them, and everybody want to throw hands, um, or wrestle each other down to the ground because nobody really swing or like really connect like that anymore. We seen fights, we seen
Yeah, real
the
fisticuff.
real NBA
It
brawl,
crack.
like
Yes.
people getting knocked out and thrown into the
Yep.
crowd and coaches wrapped around ankles and
Get dragged around. Yeah. That's
so I mean it was a little exciting to see people want to bring up Miles at the Palace. It was nowhere near that, but people want to bring it up because it's Detroit. Detroit have this reputation now because of what happened, back then. But whatever. People need to fight sometimes. Let them fight. Let them fight.
Isaiah Stewart should be suspended for the rest of the season.
I think he might get like 25 games.
Isaiah Stewart should be suspended for the rest of the season. And the reason why I say it, you said it. First of all, was his
Yeah,
first rodeo.
exactly.
Second of all, you're not supposed to come off the bench. All right. And,
He
and
didn't play
then you
not
come,
one minute.
and then you came off the bench and you threw it and you was swinging. So it's going to be hard to defend that and say, well, you lost your temper and this and that and the third. Like, I'm not really interested in that because, again, the NBA is, you have your disagreements, and there was a couple of fights in the league. But this was a big one. Knowing that, the history, it's not that far ago. You know what I mean? The Detroit Pistons, just luckily the game wasn't in Detroit, right? Then that would have been a whole different thing.
I
So
wouldn't compare it.
again, I think Isaiah Stewart, went over the top. And then at the end of the day, because people are saying, well, it wasn't really that bad, and they just was really kind of like tussling each other around, and there wasn't really no blood drawn, and nobody got boofed or nothing like that. And I'm like, well, I
But he
wonder what
targeted Miles Garrett. He came out and he went directly to
Miles Bridges.
Miles Bridges. He went directly to him, and it was like, so I feel like he had some beef, and he.
Was it premeditated?
I feel it kind of. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't, because how he instantly got off the bench and had a beeline to
Mm-hmm.
Miles Bridges. He could have swung on anybody. There was so many other Hornets
He was running.
players around, and he went straight for Miles Bridges. Like, oh, this is finally time for me to get mine off. Like,
Mhm.
let me get him out the way real quick. And I was like, all right, this is crazy. But like if he is suspended for the rest of the year, all right, cool. I mean, that's your idiotic decision to get off the bench and to swing. Um, but I would say it gotta be at least 25 games, starting at 25 and up. So if he's done for the rest of the season, all right. If it's 25, all right. But I don't think he's gonna be on the Pistons anymore.
Mm. That's a whole other thing.
Yep.
Um, what are you doing with your Sixers? I want to get into the Knicks a little bit, but go ahead, talk about your Sixers a little bit.
I mean, as I say at the beginning of the year, it's an up and down season. This is a season of low expectations. You know, I'm just rocking with them as long as Joel's healthy. Right now we're in the state of limbo because we have a guy on that team that's suspended for 25 games for taking something that he's not supposed to take, and then being shocked that he got busted. You know, um, even though I feel as though he got busted because he didn't want to get traded. That's how I personally feel, because he was in a lot of trade talks and we try and get him out of here. And what's the best way to stop a trade? I don't know. Get
Oh,
suspended.
pop some pills,
Yeah. Oh, I'm suspended.
smoke some weed. Yeah, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So, and then the greatest way to cover it up is to use the hot word mental health. So nobody's going to question that, because they don't want to look like a jerk. Oh, you know. But I'm going to question it because I don't care if I look like a jerk. Because at the end of the day, you took something that you're not supposed to take. Like Shaq said, you get a list of items that you can't take, and it tells you how long this particular medication stays in your system. And you know that you're going to get drug tests at least 3 times in this season. And they generally have an idea when it's going to happen. So you took something on that list at the appropriate time for the drug test, so it show up, and now you're suspended. So that, you know have us standing in the standstill. Then trade deadline, you trade away Jared McCain as a salary dump, because God forbid if Josh Harris isn't under the luxury tax, he's gonna blow a gasket. That's all he cares about, the Sixers, making sure he's under the tax. Um, Dale Morey dropped the ball once again, per usual. Can't wait for this guy to be gone from this organization. You trade away a young guy, get underneath the tax, acquire picks that you didn't do anything with. And then at the press conference, you sound dumb and you say, "Oh, well, we was looking to probably using one of those picks to get a player." Then why not get a player
Mm.
instead of the picks? Try to, if you want to trade a young guy, trade him for somebody. And now we have a short rotation at guard because Quentin Grimes, boom, popped up on the injury list right while we on this West Coast road trip after the trade. You got Eric Gordon out of here. We had to play Kyle Lowry, old man who haven't played in a meaningful basketball game in forever. Joel's on a rush day. We got blown out in Portland. This team
Mm.
hasn't made any. This team, this guy on the team made 8 3 pointers in one quarter, career high against us. It was. I know it's just one game, but it was just a bad look because where we struggle at is what we gave away because now we don't have depth when someone's hurt and someone's always hurt.
You know when your team is no good
What?
or your team is going through something, when people you never heard of or
Yep,
people
going
that have their career high game against
career
you,
high.
that's when you got to look in the mirror and be like, "Hey, man, what the hell is
Yeah,
going on?"
yeah. When
Right?
when I saw this, I said, so we're a terrible defense team. I mean, I had to be honest. We're bad on defense. Terrible at switching, terrible at closeout. And I'm just watching this game. I'm like, so everybody's just wide open. Everybody's wide open. But that's enough about the Sixers. What's going on with your Knicks? I see your Knicks are playing the Pacers at
Yeah,
halftime, and
my,
they're
my
up
my first
69 and
my first place New York Knicks
hype.
tied for first actually with the Boston Celtics, and Jason Tatum played around with y'all for as long as he's gonna play around with y'all, and said, "Hey man, the salvo's been thrown, and I'm getting ready to start practicing and working out."
Yeah,
And I said at the beginning of the season, Browski, the Knicks had enough rope to play with. They're in the point they're tied with the Celtics. I think you got Toronto was a 2.5 back. And here come the Sixers. So four teams separated by 4 games.
exactly. Crazy.
So I mean the Knicks. I mean, what are you going to get, right? We moved Yabusele. We got Jose Alvarado, which is a good look. I feel like he's going to be that that jitterbug type guard. Yeah, I don't want nobody sending Browski no emails. That jitterbug type guard, and he's from New York. So again, that is a intangible that should help him to acclimate towards what he's going to do with the Knicks and help him to kind of like at least I won't say play outside of himself, but play within himself because he's home now. He's relaxed. You know what I'm saying? So do what you got to do. Carl Anthony Towns, people talk like he's some kind of tough guy now. He got cut over his eye and this and that.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, yeah, I'm like, see, and I we started to show off by talking about like, what is the deal? What, like, I'm not gonna say Carl Anthony Towns is soft,
I
but
say he is soft.
the
Ref,
more
that's
he,
a
the more
foul.
he proves and play a game, put some numbers up, right? And again, I said that when we first came to the Knicks, I was like, "Oh, we're getting this guy." But again,
Oh,
you got a cut on your eye, you got some blood on your uniform. It's what it is. But we're a first place team. People are still trying to be on the proverbial tightrope about Mike Brown. Um, See what happens after 82 games. See where you're at after 82 games, right? Because when's the last time after 53 games the Knicks record was like this? When?
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and again, I want people to keep their receipts and stand on their squares when they talk about, oh, Mike Brown does this and Mike Brown does that, Mike Brown does a third. A lot of people just talk just to be talking, and you know who you are, right? So
Yeah.
again, I feel like we're at the part of the season right now, 50 some odd games in Browski, and we still haven't got to the All Star break yet.
No All-Star break coming up this
It's
weekend.
it's coming up. So again, we're here. So again, I like what the Knicks have done. We just need to keep on doing it, and it gets to the most important part of the season is coming up now.
Yeah.
That for me, the most important part of the season is coming up. Um, LeBron James didn't make all NBA. I don't know how to feel about that. You know what I mean? Like, am I supposed to care? But you know that's his thing. He does that with how he does it. Um, where do you see? Oh, this is what I wanted to talk about in regards to the All Star game. Now, Adam Silver, in his infinite wisdom, he decided to invite what 200 influencers to the game so they can kind of like do what exactly? And where's
Stream,
the game?
stream. It's all about streaming now. That's what it's all about. The NBA is always trying to be in the forefront of what's to come, and
We're in the 4 foot of monkey shit.
well, I mean, yeah, it definitely sounds like monkey shit, but at the end of the day, that's where we're at.
Monkey shit.
Everybody's on this,
Right, Browski?
you
You right.
know.
Right.
So when I think about all the other things that we could be doing instead of sitting down watching the All Star game at home, I can have my phone and see, I don't know, Drewski streaming, All Star Friday, the celebrity game, because nobody's really sitting at home watching it. You could be doing something else and, oh, let me look at this. Oh, okay, cool. The same with, All Star 70 night, Saturday night, dunk contest, lackluster, you could be out to dinner and you're like, let me see something, and you just pull your phone up and boom, you got it right there. So, I mean, that's that's where we going now. Everything is streaming.
See,
Everything's streaming,
Browski is the Jetsons. I'm the Flintstones. You know what I'm saying? Like and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it, but it's the I'm not going to dwell on it, man. But I feel like it just is what it is. What Kimmy said, she said, hey, this is where we are right now. You don't even have to be at home watching the game. You could be at the movies watching the game, or you could be out to dinner watching the game, or you could be washing
hmm
clothes watching the game, or you could be whatever outside watching the game. So again, and you want to have that global appeal. Adam Silver is just going hard body karate. He's getting all the newest and the hottest and the people that's out there, and they come out to where the All Star game is going to be, and do what
hmm
you do. So again, I don't know what to say about that. All I know is Rob Manfred and goddamn me, Roger Goodell. Please leave that alone, right? And Gary Bettman, please leave that out. Let Adam Silver have that. Let
Well,
Adam Silver
I
have that.
mean,
You
well,
know,
Roger Goodell is already doing that by having NFL games on Prime Video exclusively on Thursday and on Netflix. And also, when you look, he's also doing something differently by having all these international games.
nine
So,
of them.
now when we look at the NFL, they're moving globally more. I feel like the NFL will have an overseas team before the NBA. Before NBA team would be considered overseas team, not naming Canada because it's Canada is part of North America, but having a European team being in the NBA. So now the NFL are moving. They're moving in parallel directions, but kind of doing the same thing at the same time. You know, Netflix, Prime, Peacock. It's all streaming. It's all streaming. 9 international games. Like you. The Jacksonville Jaguars might as well become the London Jaguars, because they played in London a lot.
Yeah.
Like they're there. Like
Give me a lot.
if I was a
Give me
Jacksonville
a lot.
Jaguars fan and I live in Jacksonville and that's my team and I want to go, I gotta travel to London because what 3 or 4 of my home games is overseas. I got this stadium here for nothing, and majority of my home games are overseas, which is crazy work to me. So, I mean,
But
2026,
that's the price you pay for Roger Goodell wanting to expand the game.
yeah.
So back to Adam Silver, juxtapose that, he's just kind of like involving people that really don't have nothing to do with the game. Like, I get it,
It's
you want
all
to
about
promote.
popularity. It's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
about
yeah.
viral moments.
I
We
absolutely
live in
agree.
a society of viral moments
Right, right,
now. It's
right.
not life
Right.
moments, it's viral moments, and the NBA wants to go viral.
All right, that's what it is. We in the building down in sports. We talking about it. Like I said, I was gonna be staying tonight, man. Get off my lawn and all that, because I really didn't understand what the deal is. Maybe I just don't want to understand, but it's just kind of like it throws me off from what I'm used to seeing and what I'm used to dealing with. But that's just where we are right now. We're gonna get down to Browski's favorite part of the show, where we get down on some things. We got like 10 minutes left. Browski, you go ahead and get down what you're getting down on tonight.
I'm gonna get down on a comment that LeBron James said.
Okay.
He said that the Lakers is not a championship team. And I don't understand why people are acting crazy because this star player made a comment about the status of the team. I feel like a player of his caliber have the right to say, yeah, we're not a championship team. Why am I lying to people? Why am I lying to myself? Why am I lying to the league? Why
What
am I
my
lying to these
life?
to my teammates? They see that we're not playing the best basketball. And I feel like any star player have a right to say that about their team. Like, right, if Joel go online and says the Sixers are not playing
Picture that.
championship basketball, I wouldn't be angry because I'd be like,
If
yeah,
Joel Embiid said that the Sixers wasn't playing championship basketball, y'all be throwing eggs at his house.
um, yeah, those ridiculous fans. But I will sit back and I'll be like, he's right. We're not playing championship basketball. So you want to be lied to or you want to be told the truth. And you see it with your eyes. So by him calling out his team, I don't see that as a bad thing. Hey, maybe he's trying to spark a fire under their asses so they can get it together and maybe they can go on a run in the second half, which is highly unlikely because they play terrible defense also. Um, but he's being honest with the team. He's being honest with the front office. You know, look what happened. The trade deadline came and gone, and you did nothing to improve the team. And we're playing like trash. You wanna,
You got rid of
you
Gabe
know,
Vincent, right?
got rid of Gabe Vincent, and you want to talk about, the Lakers being a historic franchise, championships after championships, and that's the expectations for the Los Angeles Lakers is to be in the championship talks, and they're not. And I feel like more players should be honest with themselves,
Mm-mm.
with the team, and with the fans, and with the
The
front
ship
office.
is sinking.
Yeah. So I mean, if your team not playing good, you want to say it, say it. Don't lie about it because the front office needs to hear it. So I'm not mad at him.
Rossi trying to get
Speak the
everybody
truth.
fired.
Speak the truth. Listen, if
Rossi
you
trying to get
saying
everybody
look, look, if them saying that they're not playing championship basketball get anybody fired, then they should have been fired.
fired.
They should have been fired.
You're trying to
So
get me inspired, son.
but that's what I'm getting down on. I'm getting down on star players being honest about their team and just saying it like it is. I'm not mad at it.
Respect. That's what's up.
Go
Um,
ahead.
yeah, listen, my get down on it is not safe for work. I'm going to say some things that some people might not like, but in the immortal words of my uncle, I don't care. Listen, I've been watching sports for 50 plus years. Never felt like it was I was doing something wrong or offending anybody. Watching somebody aspire to their dreams. Um, Over here down in sports, we don't talk in riddles. We don't leave you mystified and trying to figure out who and what we're talking about. We speak right directly to it. Mr. Myron Gaines, you are out of your cotton picking mind. And I know you probably said that, men who watch sports are, considered, gay. I'm not really tripping off of that because I know that's not to be true. But why would you say that? To get clicks and likes, to get attention, to get somebody like myself to bring your name up. I never heard of you before today. And for you to say something like that, man, is kind of fucked up. You know, I would like to discuss with you why you think that watching somebody else aspire to their dreams. Like I'm not understanding that. Again, you cats get online and you give yourself a voice that you can say anything to anybody about anything. You're not an expert on nothing. You haven't been around. You don't know anything. All you know is how to, check with your accountant. I'm not mad at that either. But if that's what gets you off, you see with Channing Crowder, right? So that's what I fall back on. That's my fallback. Whenever you weirdos start talking that money game, I'll be like just like Channing Crowder. That's you, like Channing Crowder, right? So again, I just feel like a lot of times you do say stuff just to say stuff, and that's not cool. We're not too far removed from the era of you have to see somebody. And as much as y'all like to get around and be everywhere and you have to get caught out there. And you might like that. Send that tape to CMZ. Yeah. Right? So that's what I wanted to say, man. And another thing, there's a guy on WFAN in New York, and he's an example of what I was talking about at the beginning of the show. Not an athlete, just somebody like myself who loves to talk about sports and things of that nature, but maybe a little bit younger than me. Luke Weaver, who used to play for the Yankees last season, plays for the Mets now. He reported to Mets camp with a Yankee duffel bag with his equipment and stuff in it. And this dude Keith had a conniption. He wanted to jump out the window. Why does he have a Yankee bag and he's in Mets camp? And knock it off, man. Knock it off. Why you couldn't explain to me why Francisco Lindor broke his hand and he's gonna be out for 6 weeks? Talk about that.
They need to be concerned about that right there.
You know what I'm saying? You know what to talk about Luke Weaver and his Yankee bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and these cats are just anything you will talk about. But I just wanted to get down on that, man. So, man, y'all just be running off at the gap. And again, I'm going to say your name because, first of all, it's nothing you're going to do. And second of all, it's nothing you're going to do. So I feel like Mr. Myron Gaines, you're dead wrong. Right? And are people
always trying to have a viral moment?
And Myron Gaines, are people who sit and watch you while you do your podcast and stuff, are they gay? Because aren't you aspiring to your dreams?
They always gotta say that we live in a world of hot takes and people looking for their viral moment. And he probably thought this was, their viral moment.
Well, that was what that was. So because we speak to it over there, and again, I am planning on talking about that, but it just kind of like it struck a nerve with me, man. But anyway, we're about to get up out of here. That's Bowski over there, aka Yada Bear, aka High Ceilings. I'm left-handed at RM Des on Twitter, which is this right now. We'll talk to y'all next Tuesday. All right, y'all be good. Y'all be all right. Check us out on YouTube. Down in sports, we in the building. Get down on it.